Good evening, Freedomizers, and welcome. This is Piatra with Freedom Reigns, and today I have asked Joanne Moretti to join as our co-host. Goodness, there are so many Freedomizers now. As promised, Drake, who is a member of the Freedom Reigns team, will unfold for us information about changes we can expect in the near future, particularly as it relates to our fine men and women that are in uniform. They will have a vital part to play in the process of turning our swords into plowshares. This radio show is not designed to entertain, nor does it make money for any of us. It is not designed to give false hope or lay out doomsday scenarios. It is designed with, it's designed to bring about solutions, but to also bring about the truth with the agenda in mind. It is designed for one thing and one thing only, and that is truth. To the best of our knowledge, expressed responsibly. Along with freedom comes responsibility, and we must all play our part if we can expect to turn away from tyranny towards freedom in our lifetimes. That time is at hand. The tide has turned. We must establish our lawful constitutional government responsibly with minimal upheaval, minimal violence, and this will not be easy. All throughout history, its tyrannical governments have fallen, only to be replaced by yet another tyrannical government. We call these revolutions. Here we go around again. The original United States of America government did not come about just as a result of yet another revolution. It was, in fact, as originally designed, an evolution out of the incessant revolutions. Unfortunately, criminals subverted it. They've had their fun. A plan has been in the works for decades to undo this mess at the right time, and that time has come. In the past few months, we've seen several hundred top central bankers and their minions retired. Many of them are under house arrest. They will have many questions to answer. First and foremost, in this changeover are the men and women of our military, as well as all government services. They will be a vital part of this, and we don't want to see them thrown away in this transition. A member of our team will explain particularly to our military what this entails. Jim's going to be with us today in the chat room. As I said, I have Joanne Moretti, who's going to be addressing for us today the two executive orders that have most recently been signed. And I really look forward to hearing from Joanne. Joanne, I welcome you, and I thank you so much for being a part of this today. I can't express the gratitude.
Yeah, thank you very much for inviting me in. You got to speak up a little louder, though. The people in the chat room are saying they can't hear you very well.
Okay. I'm doing my best here. I'm losing my voice, too.
Yeah, welcome to the club. Hey, thank you for inviting me on. Yeah, we were talking about this executive order, and the two executive orders, but you add them to the rest of this stuff, man. We're out of time. It's it. It's over.
We got to
do something.
Yep, we certainly are. And with all of that said, I want to invite any active or retired military to go to our chat room at freedomizerradio.com. That's freedomizerradio.com. And post questions, or you can even call in to our to the call-in number, which is 347-324-3704. That's 347-324-3704. And press 1 to raise your hand so we know you want to talk. That said, Drake, I'm going to let you open this door. Open up this program, honey. What is it that you have for us all today?
Hi, Drake. Welcome.
Hi. Basically, the addressment to the military deals with a combination of two things. Primarily, what your reason for being in the military is, and I'll get to that when I do this little monologue I wrote down. The other part of it deals with following orders, whether those orders are lawful or unlawful is determined by your field manual. Basically, the question, why are you in the service? And it's a loaded question. You can forget the politically correct and public answer. What I'm after goes past serve my country. Patriotism, make a difference, fight against forces that intend to destroy America. These are just a few of many things. Now, I wrote down a primary line of reasoning, and I want you to particularly pay attention to the qualifications of it. Now, first of all, I have no intention of playing any games with anyone's feelings, beliefs, or reasons. That's outside the scope of this. Now, the problem is great and deals directly with the status under which you serve and who or what entity gives these orders. Most have heard of the NATO and the UN. What most do not know are histories of actions taken and treaties, agreements made between the two organizations and our government. Everyone might want to study the history, and one of the places that you can check history involved in the Korean War. You'll find some things in there that are unbelievable, and I'm talking about actions by the United Nations. Now, recently, there was testimony before the Senate Armed Services Committee. The Chief of the Joint Chiefs of Staff and the Defense Secretary have stated on video that the UN and NATO are in charge. I know that ain't going to sit very well with some people, but that's the fact of it. The position and condition of our present service members, active duty, reserve, and retired, shows a couple of different things. One of those is cuts in personnel designed to eliminate those who would refuse to follow unlawful or illegal orders. Now, so far, all these have been refused. The people in command understand what's going on and want to maintain a strong military, whereas other forces would like to weaken it. In very short order, a great many office holders will be arrested for actions in support of those who are enemies of our country, the Constitution, and freedom. Some of this is being seen in the financial areas now. The mass arrests that everybody's looking for are on their way. Now, I understand the extreme worry for all service people at all levels. Refusing orders is not taken lightly, nor should it be. And you have to have a combination of good reason in order to refuse an order. The order has to be more than obviously illegal or unlawful. The United States Military Code of Justice covers that along with your field manual. Every field manual states the difference in terms of being military and being civilian, and the fact that you are not to engage civilians unless they pose a direct threat to you. The lawful order gives the directive to perform duties that are legally based under the oath of service and are not contrary to our Constitution, generally the laws that govern proper conduct. The Uniform Code of Military Justice does support this understanding. That's a part that a lot of people leave out conveniently. Everyone needs to be aware that the statement of just following orders was ruled an invalid defense at the Nuremberg trials. Since then, it has also been ruled an inadequate or ridiculous defense on several different occasions where people took matters into their own hands and decided what they wanted to do, and the military engaged civilians, among other things. Okay, no matter your rank or duties, you do not have to follow unlawful orders. Now, the Posse Comitatus covers that. If anybody wants to look it up, it is referenced by the legal branches and definitions of the Uniform Code of Military Justice, in that you are not a police force. Okay? Now, the problem we've got, going back just a little bit to the part where you have a Joint Chief of Staff and our Defense Secretary stating that we do not need to have civilian authority in order to start a military action, goes back to an article that I copied, and this deals with going back to 1933 and 1945. It deals with International Organization Immunities Acts, and it basically gives an authority to any group of compliant nations, primarily they would be allies of ours, such as NATO or the United Nations, to place combat troops into combat as they so choose. They do not need the permission of the United States government, nor do they need the permission of Congress in order to do so. This is contrary, basically, to what a lot of people understand in terms of a declaration of a conflict, be that war, be that a police action, or whatever. Now, our elected officials do have the capability of rescinding this, and they have not taken that action. I would suggest that they probably have been threatened in one form or another.
Or accomplices.
Well, that could be. I don't know that they would be accomplices to as much of an extent as people would like to believe. I would suggest that their families have been threatened. No man. I don't know of any person who could stand there and watch their family be tortured to death slowly. That just doesn't fly with anybody I know.
Yeah, how are they going to get everybody's family?
Well, supposedly there's enough people who agree with the idea of the military being superior to go ahead and take such actions, and it would only take one or two. It wouldn't take all of them. But anyway, the legal standing being used at this time is valid because our representatives do not have the guts to rescind the agreement for whatever reason, whether their families have been threatened or whatever has gone on behind the scenes that nobody knows about. This still.
Why wouldn't they come to us? Why wouldn't they come to us and tell us that they're being threatened and we could help them protect their families?
Very simply, these people that run this insidious octopus cabal, whatever you want to call it, have infiltrated most everything that you're aware of, and consequently, if they say anything about it, that's when the fun begins. And
you said there's going to be mass arrests. Who's going to arrest them? Who's going to be doing the arresting?
Well, that's going to come later in this talk. But hold it. It's a good thought.
I want to know who's going to be doing the arresting and what happens if they refuse.
I'll explain that in a few minutes.
And all the sovereignty questions and stuff. I got a whole bunch of questions for you. Go ahead, finish, and I'll question you afterwards.
This is